So guys, it's great to be here after the presentation that you just had, because basically what I'm going to show you is a bit of a segue of what my colleague before told you about. biid is a mobile identity company, and what we do is we try to help organizations secure their digital infrastructures. Now, there's very little doubt that cybercrime today, as my colleague just showed you, is one of the most serious issues that our society is facing. So if we look at some of the numbers connected to the cybercrime issue, we realize that most of the issue, a big part of the issues, is connected to digital identity, or let's say the lack of a robust digital identity infrastructure that we can all use and share. Now, in 1993, the problem of digital identity was identified by this great illustration of the New Yorker, saying, on the internet, nobody knows that you're a dog. And the reality is that 25 years have passed, and today the problem is even bigger, because today the problem is that on the internet, nobody knows, wow, that you're a spy, pretending to be a fridge, pretending to be a chatbot, pretending to be your bank representative. I promise I did not create the slides like this. There must be an issue in the rendering, but I'll continue anyway. Now, our mission at biid is helping governments and financial institutions to address the digital identity problem and make our society safer for everyone. How do we do that? As I mentioned, biid is a mobile identity platform, and our technology is a PKI-based technology that transforms your mobile device into the secure token you can use to legally identify yourself online, and then perform operations like authenticate, provide consent, authorize transactions, secure your digital APIs, and so on and so forth. Now, some of the use cases that we work with organizations on are GDPR and PSD2 compliance, authentication, authorization, and consent, are multi-factor authentication, are API security to avoid, for instance, the cases like the one of the Tesco Bank attack of 2 years ago continue to happen. I want to show you something, hoping this will work. So if we can switch to my laptop, I will show you exactly what this means. biid is a B2B technology company, so you're not going to find a biid service, a biid application out there. Our technology is embedded, for instance, into our customers' app and website. The city of Barcelona uses our technology for citizens, for instance, to allow citizens to log into the city council website, pay their taxes, check their parking tickets, and so on. Banks use it to protect their digital infrastructure and to create a safer environment for their customer. Now, imagine that I have my mobile app from my biid bank provider. It could be Lloyds, it could be Barclays, it could be a private bank, and so on. And inside the app, there's our technology that transforms this device into the token. So this is the only device that can identify me legally through a digital certificate that is issued by our platform. So there is a private key that is securely stored on the secure element of the device and cannot be cloned. Once I have my certified device, the first thing that I can do is very easily log in to my bank account. What happens here is that I receive a notification on my device. I'll be able to review where the notification originated from, and then with a combination of biometrics, for instance, scanning my 4 fingers, and our technology in the background, which checks a digital signature happening in background, I'm in. Now, although you've only seen me doing the 4 fingers verification, there are 3 levels of security already happening here. There is a biometric check, the device is registered to me, and the private key inside the secure element digitally signs a claim that our platform verify on the backend. So there is a cryptographic verification of the authentication. Once I'm in, I can see that there are a couple of documents that my bank wants me to sign. I'll just select one for instance. When I click sign, I receive the document on my device. I can review, in this case, the PDF. And if I want to sign it, again, I will use a combination of biometrics and the private key that is inside the device. This will sign the document, and my bank will receive the legal evidence of the signature, the signed document, the original document, and so on. So if now I go here and I download these signed documents on my device, and I open this document with Acrobat, if I can select it, you will see that this document has been digitally signed and is signed with my identity. And this is a digital signature that EIDAS compliant digital signature, so it's valid everywhere in Europe, it's valid in the US, is a signature that you can use to open a bank account, for instance. The third use case that I want to show you is how do we apply the same technology, for example, for protecting payments and transactions. In my bank, I can try to make a payment, like test 1. I can, in this case, I'll show you how to make a high-value payment. In the back office of our platform, or in this case of the bank platform, you can define the security levels of your operation. So as you've seen me doing, for the login, the 4 fingers was enough. For the signature, I've used my native biometric on the device. For a payment, it can even be a much more complex operation that can come from your fraud management system. So for instance, in this case, we've mapped a simple rule-based engine, but this could be any rule that comes from your core banking system. And in this case, if you want to transfer between 1,000 and 10,000 euros for high-value payment, what we do is that the single step is not going to be enough. We're going to ask the user to step up. So when I click Pay, I'll receive again a notification on my device. I will be able to say Authorize. The first thing is going to be I'm going to use my fingerprint. This is not going to be enough. It's going to ask me to do a face recognition. This will unlock access to my, there's the light. Let's try like this. Yep. This will allow access to the private key. The private key will sign the transaction. Your platform will receive all the legal evidence of the transactions. What this means for payments, because everybody nowadays can do payments, right? Every single bank do mobile payments today. But what our signature add to the payments that you can implement is 2 things. First of all, you secured your API. So you avoid something that happened at Tesco, where somebody attacked directly the API, can happen to you. Because now, if somebody steals my credentials, and steals my real username and passwords, and attack those API with those credentials, we can always verify that the transaction was not digitally signed with your device, with the device that is in your pocket. And the second point is that a digital signature is a valid operation, so now you can enable higher value payments and also international payments because you have AML compliance. For instance, one of our first customers was a private bank where the standard level of transactions are much higher than a retail bank can do. So these are some of the use cases enabled by identity. There are many others, but I think this makes it more understandable why identity is the foundation of cybersecurity. Thank you very much, guys. I'll open to your questions.